We in the Reformed tradition believe that all of our life is God's, so that the work that we do is a part of our response to God's call on our lives.
We often think about call applying to ordained ministry and often only to pastors, but it really can apply to all of us. The word vocation comes from the Latin word vocare, which means to call. God calls us into all kinds of work as parents, teachers, lawyers, scientists, farmers, construction workers. God can use us in so many ways and use our skills to share good news in the world. Martin Luther, the father of the Protestant Reformation, said this about vocation. If you are a craftsman, you will find a Bible placed in your workshop. It teaches and preaches how you ought to treat your neighbor. Only look at your tools, your needle, your thimble, your beer barrel, your articles of trade, your scales, your measures, and you will find this saying written on them. My dear, use me toward your neighbor as you would want him to act towards you, with that which is his. I recently met a woman on a church retreat who'd spent the weekend playing with and teaching the children, nurturing them in their lives of faith. We were chatting over lunch, and I asked her what she does during the week when she's not at church, and I fully expected she was going to tell me she was a teacher or nurse or childcare worker. And I was surprised when she said she's an accountant for her paying work, but comes to church on the weekends and tends to God's children.
I like to quote from the great Dutch theologian and leader, Abraham Kuyper, who said, "There is not a square inch in the whole domain of our human existence over which Christ, who is sovereign over all, does not cry, 'Mine.'" Every area of life is important to God, and so God is intimately involved in the calling of our working lives.
So we don't separate our work from our worship. Work is worshipful work. Work is holy work, because God is sovereign throughout our entire being. Our whole life is God's. And so whatever we do in response to God's call.